Okay, welcome back everyone. I got the battery charged. Let me see, where do we leave off? I don't remember. Wherever it died out, it died out. But basically, this is what I've got done so far. And it wasn't that bad. I think I had it flipped over, turned it over, and then I think I was, yeah, that's right. I was installing this part right here. So let's put this down. Okay. So basically, I got the cover for the belt on, and I put it in the middle, just to put it in the middle. I believe this thing right here was causing me a lot of problems. This piece. And I'll try to get some illumination here. There you go. So I believe this. Come on, focus. There we go. So I believe this piece right here was causing me the problem, and basically moved it out, put it in. Well, I think I recorded that. And then what else was I doing at the time? Well, anyway, that's what I remember. Anyways, if you missed it, that's just tough. But most of what I did since then was basically try to make any adjustments, if any. So anyways, this is in, as you can see. Wasn't that hard. And I kind of pushed this in a little so at least it can start closing. So I put that in there. The motor, this part right here is basically what's keeping the tension on the belt and keeping that motor up instead of just flopping back down. So the tension on the belt's already there. This is pushing the tension. So I just tightened it just a little bit, not too much, just a little bit. I haven't turned this on yet. And then of course this is the gearbox. I have not changed the oil. There's supposedly oil in here. And then here's the blade down. Let me see, what have I done since then? What was I working on? Oh, that's right. There's this little rubber piece right here that was attached like right here, and it hit up against this. Well, of course you're not going to really keep this on because it's all deformed and all that. I don't think it's really safe to have it on. So I took it off, and then what it does is basically it stops it. And I guess you want it to stop where it hits the off button. And so I adjusted it, and at the same time it doesn't just slam down on anything out here. So I did adjust it. Let me see if I can show you. Oh, sorry. So there you go. So it's not plugged in yet. I haven't plugged it in or tested or did anything yet. So concept is that you have it on. You're able to put your material in here, and then from that you'll basically be able to just put this down. Let me see here. So you're going to be able to put this down. There you go. It's going. And then it's going to hit, and it should click. Well, it looks like I need to adjust it just a little bit more to have it really click. So anyways, well, that's the idea. Let's see if it really does that when I turn it off. I thought I made it go, but maybe not. So, but you can adjust it with that right there. If you have to, I guess if you have a filer, but it should be enough just to turn that switch off. It doesn't have to really click down. So that's another thing that I was working on. And then in the directions manual, it talks about the vertical position. So I did take a look at the vertical position, and this is it right here. And then you're supposed to remove these two screws here. So you're supposed to remove these two screws, and then put on this addition here, which I have right here. And this was an extra piece that I had to put on. And that extra screw that we saw with the washer and everything, and the bolt, or in the nut, see, that's the extra screw that was left over. So everything in that bag full of nuts, bolts, screws, washers, lock washers, it's all been used. All right, and so this is where this comes into play, is that this is the support for it, and then this simply just goes in here, and then the screws, you're supposed to screw it in. There you go, somehow like that, and that'll give you the wider vertical base. And then there you're supposed to loosen that bolt and have this slip, basically have this slipped in like right, like, oh, sorry, like, kind of like that. I just attached it. I mean, it's supposed to slip it in, and then it's supposed to be like this, but behind the bolt, but in front of the washer, I believe. And then that way you'll have your support right here. Problem is, it's not a 90. I don't know if that'll make a difference. It's kind of a nice concept. I don't know how to quite make it straight. I might have to put a shim in it, but that takes some time if you're going to set up this way. But it may not make a difference. I mean, if you're using like flat stock or something, you're just trying to cut a pattern, or just trying to cut a triangle out or whatever, freehand, it may not make a difference. So, but if some people are really exact about it, especially with their metalworking, you know, I'm not going to be that exact, because this is not, you know, I'm not trying to build a spaceship to go to Mars. I just want to cut some pieces of metal so I can do something with it, and this is going to help me do it. So, and you know, for the price that I paid for this, I'm not going to complain. You know, when I do this and I do the review, I'm trying to, you know, put it into perspective of what I paid for. All right, what'd you pay for this? Now, if I paid $1,000 for this, yeah, it better damn be, you know, straight and 90 and 0 degrees, 45 degrees. It better be that, because I'd be hella pissed that I paid a lot of money and it doesn't work, right? But considering that I didn't pay a hell of a lot of money, and neither should you, all right? Neither should you pay a hell of a lot of money for this. But you know, it's still, you know, over $100, okay? But at the same time, you compare it with other metal cutting saw bands out there, this is a great deal. So compared to like you know, a $10,000, a $5,000, $1 million, whatever metal cutting bandsaw with all the liquids, juices coming out of it and everything. I'm just kidding about the coolant. You know, I'm talking about the coolant. You know, it's not really an apples to apples. More like, you know, an apple to a very high-end Lamborghini. Of course, this sucks compared to that. But compared to something maybe a couple $100 more than this, a few $100, you know, compared to that, this is awesome. So, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself right now. I haven't tried it. So I got the extension cord here, and I did a review on this extension cord. So it's a 10 gauge. Come on, focus. There we go. So it's a 10 gauge. And so it should have enough power to turn that motor. It runs my air compressor. Okay, so if you saw my video on the air compressor, you'll see what I'm talking about in particular. So it should run this motor, which it's only 1 horsepower. Looks big though, and it seems heavy, but anyways. So here it is. Let me see, what did I do with this? That I haven't finished the handle yet. It's on there, but I haven't put the pins in, but it doesn't really matter. Let me see something else. Okay, so if you're kind of wondering, I did open this up. There's a screw right here. There we go. There's a screw right here. You unscrew this and you should be able to open it up. But first you have to... Now this doesn't do anything with the bandsaw. Now I haven't adjusted the bandsaw or anything yet. So far from what I could tell, it may work or not. Don't know. But anyways, this is just a setup. There'll be more episodes in the adjustment and everything. But basically you loosen this. This has nothing to do with the adjusting the bandsaw. And then what it does is, if you're able to see, you see right here, it just slides up. See that? I hope you all saw that. See? I'll try to do it with the light illuminating. So you see that? Okay. So you have it up, and then you'll be able to basically open it, because if you don't, you're gonna hit the side, and you'll be like, oh, what do I got to do? And for a minute there, I was considering loosening that, because that's the stop for the bandsaw in the vertical position. And I was thinking about just loosening that and trying to open up more than the 90 degrees, like, you know, like 110 or something like that. But anyways, let's put this back down. I guess it's just there for protection, for your safety, so you don't somehow get caught up into it in the bandsaw. So I haven't adjusted it or tracked it or anything yet. It is just the way it is out of the box. So I haven't done that, but what I have done is I did do a 90. Make sure the bandsaw did do a 90 off of this plate right here. So basically I just got my square and just put it up to it, and then the bandsaw itself I haven't quite adjusted, but from looking at it, I mean, it looks eyeball, it looks pretty straight, so I'm not too worried about it. It is a little crooked here and there, but you know, I'm not like I said, I'm not looking for that kind of precision. I'm just looking to cut stock material so I can do things with it, and you know, I'll probably weld it together or something. So, but if it works, I mean, as time goes on, I'll probably get a little bit better at it. But right now, it's you know, it works for me. And you know, if you think you can't do it, then you know what, you're right, you can't do it. So if you need that, you know, 0.005% or 1%, you know, tolerance there, well, you just can't do it. Go ahead and buy that, you know, $10,000 machine. So anyway, so let's turn it on. Let's just turn it on, see how it works, or just get it to turn. All right. So that's, you know, that's for me. That's going to be whether it fails. If I turn this on and it doesn't turn, that's a fail. All right, but if basically if it turns, okay, well then it works. Well, then I'll try cutting it, something with it, and then if it cuts something, it still works. So I mean that's the point. I didn't pay a lot of money for this, so I'm not expecting great precision, but I'm expecting it to work. And if it works, you know, it doesn't really matter if you have a $1 million machine or a couple $100 machine. If you can't use it, it's worthless. So, but if it was up to me, I'd rather pay a couple $100 and work with it a little bit until I get really good at it, versus pay tens of thousands of dollars and think that somehow this machine's going to make me the greatest machinist ever or whatever. But anyways, let's go ahead and plug this in. Let me see here. Okay. There we go. Let's make sure it's really in there. There we go. Okay, and I really like that little shelf part on the bottom. The stand is very sturdy. I'll tell you that right now. It's very, very sturdy. It's especially when you put the supports on. If you can see that, there you go. You put the supports on, and then it should not go anywhere. I mean, it's on there. The only thing I did have a problem with was this right here. That's the only thing I had a problem with, because this locks the thing in the down position, right? So, wow, it's going in real smooth now. Before I was having a really hard time with it, but anyways, it locks it in the. Wow, I don't know what I did. I did tighten this. I noticed that it seemed a little loose. I did tighten that, so maybe that's kind of what made the difference. I'm not sure, but it's sliding in and out like easy. Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, anyways, the problem I had was it was so tight that I would pull it, and then I would pull on the chain, and the link is so weak on this that I just pulled it right off. So I had to get I don't have a needle nose, but I got this needle nose pliers, kind of needle, it was more like vice grip, and I had to slowly but surely squeeze where they were kind of separating. But man, this pin is coming in and out so easy now. It's not even funny. I'm not sure what happened, but okay, cool. It works for me. I guess I don't have a complaint now. So anyways, shall we? Yeah, let's turn this thing on. I'm just going to turn it on. I'm not going to do anything with it. So, okay, so let's turn it on. There's the on button. I don't need to change the oil, but I probably will. I think it's a good recommendation. I think the oil in there is not that good, but who knows. Okay, ready? Here we go. I'm just letting the bandsaw break in a little bit, see if it realigns itself first before I make any adjustments. So that's kind of why I'm letting it run. Hopefully I'm not going to let this thing fall on me. But yeah, so far it's working. It turned on. There's the bandsaw right there coming through. I'm not going to really open that, but I will open this gearbox and see how the tension's working on it. So I have it middle to middle position, which gives it a B speed. Oops, sorry. A B speed. So 120 something. Looks like revolutions, but maybe not. Alright, I'm gonna put it down to see if it turns that switch on off into the off position, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if that really works or not. So, okay, here it goes. I'm gonna take this, just slowly, just as if it was really cutting something. Slowly get down to it, and let's see what the real pace of it is. I don't know, but let's see what happens if it actually turns off. I'm gonna watch that as well. Okay, it pushes it enough to turn it off, but when you lift it, it turns back on. Okay. Well, I got it to the point where, you know, it turns off, but it doesn't flip down, because when oh, okay. Well, there you go. I guess depends. But as long as it just turns off, that's the important part. That that way, if you ever leave, which I don't know why you would leave, but maybe you would. Maybe you would. You know, you cut really thick pieces out there, and let me check one thing here. Now the blade has been going around. I just wanted to check if check the square of it. There we go. Okay. So I'm just gonna see what I can do here. I don't know. Let me see here. That's probably pretty good. To the naked eye, that's pretty good. I just wanted to make sure that I adjusted. I ran the bandsaw, so I just want to make sure that it stayed 90 from which I adjusted here, which is going to be really important. As far as how this stands up against the bandsaw, I don't know. Let's see. It's gonna be hard to tell, but see if it. Okay. I'm trying to show you and look at it at the same time. I'm slightly off. I'm slightly off. It's slightly off. I can kind of see it on this edge right here. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. There's a slightly off. Okay, I could just fix that. Adjust the bandsaw and maybe the plate back here. But that's not too bad. I just have to let it run, let it realign itself here. But again, I'm not really trying to make an exact cut here. Not that precise, but pretty darn close for me to work, to file a little bit. If it could be perfect, that's awesome. I'm going to be welding things, so it's I don't know if it's going to make that much of a difference. So that's kind of what I have in mind for it. If anybody else has any experience on this, please, write a note about it, write a comment. So, all right, so that's kind of pretty much it. I mean, I did it. Took me a while because I had to explain all this stuff, with you guys, but definitely this is something that's doable. When I first looked at it, I was a little intimidated because I didn't know whether I could do something like this, because it was first time working with a metal cutting bandsaw, and I know when you work with metal, you kind of have to be a little bit more precise with wood, but maybe not. So anyway, let's do another test. Because now, hold on, that's the other thing I want to look at. So I'm going to I should butt it up and to see if it moves. I can hear a little scraping. But then again, the other thing is from here to here is pretty level until you get to here. So and I'll show you what I'm talking about. And you could kind of get a rocking feeling. See? So I put it here. You can see a little jiggle in it, and not only that, a little rocking. But here, no rock, because this is pretty much for the most part straight. Here, it's higher at this point somewhere, and this point is a little lower. That's why you're getting the rock. Getting a little rock here as well, but not as much. I was pushing up against here, and there we go. And it's pretty darn straight. A little bit to the edge right here. A little bit to the edge, it's coming out. So that's a little concern. Same thing with this. I'm just trying to make sure it's straight. For the most part, it is. I mean, again, I'm not, the tolerances on what I'm looking for is not that big of a deal. But again, then again, you know, I do want to be accurate as possible. So that's just kind of how it is. But let's go get a piece. Let's go get a piece of something and cut it up, shall we? Let's cut it. Now I didn't adjust the tension feed on it, but haven't tried to cut anything yet. So let's. It turned out to be such a beautiful day. So here's a scrap piece that I got from a barbecue pit that I welded my welding cart / table together, which is that thing right there that you're all looking at. I did a wonderful series of the 90 amp welder. It's not here because it's been replaced and I haven't put it in yet, but I got the 170 amp. So I made this to make my little table here. But anyways, here's a piece of just a rusty old, I don't know what gauge. It's not that thick, but let's just see how it works. Let's just see how it works. Here's the dial for it, and I did loosen this. It was kind of tight, so it can move around. I can freely move it around, but after you use the vise on it, it should be able to work good. All right, keep it in place. There we go. Look at that. Actually, I don't want it to be that thick, or I don't want it to be that much. I just want to cut a little bit, just enough to make my point. I'm not just. Okay. Got the vise down pretty good. Okay. So let me see if I could just see what the tension is like on this. I'm just going to let the gravity take it. There doesn't seem to be a lot of tension on it. I'll just let the weight of this just take it down. So that's how it operates. Anyways, safety glasses time. If you got yours, you can put yours on if you want. Alright, so here it is. I'm going to turn this baby on again. And then let's see how it goes. I'm not going to force it down. I'm just going to let it feed itself. I'm just lightly. I'm still holding it until it. Nope. It stopped. Alright, it stopped. So it looks like I do have to adjust the tension on it. Or unless it slipped off. Let me see here. Unless it slipped off. Nope. It slipped off. Yeah, there it is. See it right there? So it slipped off. Okay. Alright. It's not quite a fail yet, but again, that's what you got to test it for. I think I need more tension on that because it might have been too heavy. So again, this is the first time I've ever done this, so you're all seeing it just how I would see it. If you're going through this experience, maybe you'll be saved a lot of time. There it is. The bandsaw is right here. The bandsaw came off. So let's see if I could just okay. Let's see if I could just put it back into place and see how that's going to work out. So let's loosen this tension here. Let's get it loose. Let's see how much effort it takes to really put this back in, shall we? So loosen it some more, so I can get this sucker back in. Okay, there it is. Now I'm going to tighten it back up. So it looks like before you operate this, it looks like you still need to do some adjustments to it. Of course, I still need to adjust the feed to tracking on this as well, which I have not done. So it's not a complete fail yet, because I know you have to do those things here. But I just wanted to see how it cut. And it looks like it was performing well until I just let it go. So let me see here. I'm going to go ahead and just turn it on, see if it turns now. Okay, it did. I think what I did is I put, let's have it go, just make sure. It's riding on the edge there a little bit. So, I'm not done yet. I guess I'm gonna have to adjust the feed, the track on this, because it's riding off the edge a little bit. So to do that, unfortunately, I have to loosen this, adjust it while it's going, then retighten. I don't know if if you're seeing that. So let me grab a little flashlight if you cannot see that. There it is. So basically, loosen, adjust while it's running, tighten back again, and then close everything up. So since we're here, might as well just go ahead and just do it. Okay, let's see what. That's too big. Perfect. So this is going to loosen. We're loosening this. And hopefully this is the same. Okay. So this has to be loosened. I don't know how much, so I'm just going to look at it until okay, it's loose. It's loose. Okay. So it's loose. Let's turn it on. Oh. Okay, it's loose. There you go. you're seeing everything how I'm seeing it, so we'll probably have to loosen this to put it back on. Put the tension back onto it. So, let me see here. It's really, maybe a little too loose. I should probably put it on a slower speed, which may be a good idea. So, slower speed would be A to A. So, or you can just do this, but let me see here. I'm just gonna pull this until it slips over to A. Make sure you're wearing gloves when you do this because it could get kind of tricky. There we go. Which kind of loosen this a little bit, which is fine. Which is good because now I can just slip it over onto A on this side. There we go. Now it's on AA. Excellent. So, I may have a little too much. Loosen this a little too much. So let's tighten this up just a little bit more. And then tighten this. It's on a little bit better. Let's see how it goes. Yep. It's still loose. So still a little too loose. Okay. Let's loosen this up again. Put that on. And then let's push this all the way in. And then let's tighten it. And I'm going to go ahead and just, I think this pushes out. Let's just go ahead and push that in there. That may just push it in a little. So, alright. Again, let's give it a try. Okay. That's a lot better. The bottom is really coming off quite a bit. I don't know how to adjust for the bottom. I might have to play with the guides a little bit. But the top is doing really well. And in fact, it's just coming right off. The tracking on the bottom just seems like it's coming off. So having too much noise here. It's a little too much here. Okay. The bottom part is coming off a little. That's the problem I'm having here. The top one seemed to line up pretty good, but I'm not sure how I can play with the bottom part, but might have to play with the guides here a little bit. Which guides are right here. I may have to somehow replace or remove this piece, which may be a good idea. So screws are going to have to come out. Okay. Okay, so these come off, and hopefully that will reveal the guides, which then I can I'm hoping I can make some adjustments here. There we go. So okay. It doesn't matter because there's only 20 and 200 gigs. That's the jump between the phones. Internet, yeah. So if we go down below that, we're going to go over. They're going to charge us. So that's why we just jumped to that high.
2 gigabyte?
Yeah.
2000 megabyte?
Yeah, 2020 gigs or something like that.
Okay, 100. You use like 168 megabyte.
Okay. So, well, before I used to get the lower plan, but I would go over, then we'd be charged, and what we charged would have been the same if we used the 20 gigs or something like that.
Okay,
All right.
I will be back.
Okay, let's see here. Let's see if I can move these guides a little bit. It looks like it has to be a little bit moved here. I think I might be able to loosen this and then turn it. Alright, so they are moving a little bit. There we go. So let me reduce some of the tension so I can get a better idea of what I got to do here. So I'll try to put this back in as well. Okay. And then let's see here. It only goes so far, so I'm just going to have to turn it all the way because anyways, I'm getting low on battery, so we may have to do another episode here. I'll just keep going until the battery runs out. Okay. Keep the tension on that. And let's tighten it. Make sure this tension on this is tight. Let's give it a shot now. The bottom part is staying on pretty good. The top is alright. I hear a little creaking, but other than that, I mean, the bottom part really was a big problem. So let's see here. So that's the part that had the real problem. It was coming out quite a bit. I had to adjust the guide right here, and so far it looks like it's staying on. I'm not hearing anything quite strange, any noises, any scratching all that much. I hear the tension of the bandsaw, but that's about it. I put it onto a lower speed. Okay, alright. Let's turn it off so I can screw this thing back on, and we'll give it another whirl. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just tighten this up. So I made some adjustment to it. Tighten that up. Close that. Okay. I just gotta remember what I did with oh, here it is. Let's close this up here. How's my wife? She was on her way to get her new phone. She had to interrupt me for that. So, anyways, close that up. I'm going to go with the slower speed. Let me pull this out and try to get a... I'm going to go ahead and just leave that out because just in case I need to make an adjustment. So I'll leave that out there. So let's go ahead and redo this just by a little right here. There we go. Okay, attempt number 2, test number 2, and I might have to increase the tension on this because I think the weight of it just was too much for it to handle. Let me see here. Yeah, that's a big difference. That's a big difference. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm barely lifting this thing and it's moving up, so just try a little bit more tension. I think that there was a little bit too much tension on that, but then again, that might have been a good thing because it forced me to adjust the bandsaw, which I guess I needed to do. Okay, let's give it a shot. Slower speed, but we'll get it to go. And gonna pull you guys out for this, so you all can see. Alright, I'm letting go now, and I'm just letting this thing just cut through on its own weight. Adjusting that tension feed really made a big difference. I think I was going way too fast on the first attempt. Alright, I need to adjust the tension for this particular. So adjusting that tension feed makes a huge difference because it really just needs to go slow. This is so thin material that at least it didn't stop. Well, it stopped, but there we go. I'm keeping a hand on it just in case. Well, didn't quite work out as planned, but it did not fail. Okay. Made a really nice cut actually. Not that bad, but again, this is just the second test cut. Maybe do a little deburring here, but overall it did perform. The thing about it that I've noticed, and I feel a little heat from it. But the thing about it is that, of course, this is just hollow, and as it was cutting through the top, of course, it took longer to cut through the top, and then once it cut through these sides, it just started just going right through. And then the bottom, because the tension feed is so high on this, it seems like you just really need to put a lot of tension speed on it, or tension feed on this, and just let it go down. And because there's so much, by the time this lever, this piece right here hits this, it's not going to turn it off because there's so much tension on it, and it'll just keep riding on that. So I think this seems like this might be a waste of time actually. Unless you're using some heavy stuff, but you don't want to put a lot of pressure on this, it seems like. So that's kind of my conclusion on it. So anyways, I'm gonna do just one more. I'll make some little adjustments here and there. I might not even use this because it just gets in the way really, and it'll just keep running and it won't even cut through. So anyways, so far it's a pass. It worked. Just need to make some adjustments. And anyways, the battery's getting low, so let's cut out here. All right. Thanks. Bye.